This is about your unconscious grounding in human design, how you can use that to help regulate and ground yourself, and you're going to get so much bang for your buck on it. And I've been sharing a lot of different parts about it, and I'm going to continue today with some reflections that you can look at. And mostly I'm sharing my example so you can see how you could do this. And so what you're looking at here is, this is my human design report that I created, that I generated. And report's probably not the right word, but I'm not sure what the right word is. When I work with somebody, we are generating, co-creating together. So I work with them, and then I go back in and research through their human design and create this document that becomes something for self-coaching yourself. Not something that you just read once and think, oh, this is fun. Oh, I totally saw myself. No, this is something that you come back to repeatedly. You read over and over, and you come back to it, and it will last for years that you can be using this document. So what I have been sharing, let me go through, find the page, this one. And so that you can see, we're talking about this part right here. I'll just highlight it. This part right here, for me, it's gate 22. So the 22 is the gate right here. The 0.2 is a line number. So there's 22.1, 22.2, 22.3, 22.4, 22.5, 22.6. 6 different line qualities. And they just flavor that gate slightly differently. Gate 22 is also right here in the body graph, and this is the emotional solar plexus. So all about emotions. For me, when I look for grounding techniques, I'm looking for ones that help with emotions, because that's what's in mine. Mine is about emotions. Yours might be something different. It might be a different spot on the body graph. So you might be looking for grounding techniques that involve something different. So this is why you might have tried some of these, somatic practices or grounding techniques, meditation, journaling, whatever. There's so many different things out there. And why some of them may or may not have resonated with you, because it's not what your grounding is. And you do have grounding also on your conscious side. But the one on your unconscious side is the one that gives you the most bang for your buck, because the conscious one, you're probably already aware of it. Oh, when I do this, I normally feel better. But the unconscious is the one that we're less likely to be aware of. So if we can learn about that and do more of that, it totally changes. And I've been doing a series of videos that are all about this, and I'm going to share one other section of it. So you can go through the whole series together and see everything, how it comes together. And I'm going to start here. And this is about, so gate 22 for the gift of that, when you're not in your shadow, the gift of that is grace. I've always been able to give grace to other people, but this is about grace for me, and not just grace for me, grace for my emotions. I am a 6-2 generator with emotional authority. This is super key for me. It's on multiple levels, because not only is it about the 2 line in my profile, it is about the grounding on my unconscious, the 22. And the 22 is in my emotional solar plexus. And I have emotional authority, and I need to do the emotional authority in order to get to my generator sacral yes or no. It all comes together. And if you don't know much about human design, that's okay. Welcome. I put a lot of things in just ordinary plain speak, but my purpose is all about, or my grounding in my unconscious way, where I may not always be aware of it, but it's so natural, is about my emotions, releasing my emotions, exhaling, just holding space, grace, having grace, exactly what you think that word means. Having grace that I have emotions, and just let them be there. Not solving them, not fixing them, not controlling them, not trying to release them. Grace for letting them be there, giving them space. And so in this book, in my report, I put in a bunch, and I do it for others too, but I put in a bunch of like reflection questions. I talk about it. There's other pages in here that I've gone through from some of the other videos that you can go back to if you want to. I'll put a link here in the description for them. But this is the reflection part, and I'm just sharing this. I'm being the example. So grace is grounding for emotional alignment. When you feel off, unsure, out of sync, or just want to reconnect. Okay, so this is my checklist, things that I go through. So if you have a 22 in your unconsciousness, this might really help you. But even if not, these are probably just good questions for anybody, but they're specifically, they were written for me in here, but I'm going to share them. Have I had space today to feel my own emotions without absorbing others? Oof. Sometimes it's all about that external. How do I make it easier for them? But we need it for ourselves too. Is there a sound that feels off, jarring, or too loud for my system? I have sound as a key component for my the way that I digest stuff. And so it's something for me to keep in mind. And I talk more about that in another video if you're curious about that. Have I spent too much time consuming like information, noise, ideas that aren't mine? Ooh, that's when I get so up in my head and I hear everybody else's noise coming in. And if I spend too much time there listening to all of that, I tend to lose myself. The more I live in my body, in my present moment, in my now, the better off I am, the more grounded I am. So this is about grounding. If I'm finding that all this time of consuming stuff, then I'm not grounding myself. I'm not holding grace for my emotions. I'm doing something different. Am I holding tension in a specific muscle group, like jaw, shoulders, stomach, pelvis, anywhere, you know? I know that like I can do a body scan. Where am I holding something tightly? And jaw is for sure one of them. Neck and shoulders is another one. Sometimes I notice that my calves and my feet are gripping the ground. So it's important for me to do that, because if I'm holding tension there, I'm not releasing whatever kind of emotion, like what's creating the tension. And I can start looking, like if I release it, you know, if I loosen up and move my shoulders a little bit, what kind of thoughts pop into my mind? What kind of emotions do I start to notice? What's causing that? And it gives me just a different way of exploring. As opposed to thinking, I can move my body and see what bubbles up. Have I been trying to finish something that's not emotionally ready to move? Ooh. My relationship with time and urgency and just wanting to get it done, like suck it up, just hold tight and just get it done. All, you know, you'll feel so much better later on. And sometimes you do feel better later on. But yet that I normally end up paying for it, like I will get a headache or something like that. So this is something that I've been working on. But they all tie back to emotions. Because I felt like I couldn't sit with it. I had to just get it done. That having something unfinished felt, ugh. Well, why does it feel ugh? Because there's other times where things are unfinished and I don't care. Like the laundry not folded, I don't care. Why is that one okay for me to have it unfinished? But this project that has just like an extra half hour, why do I feel like I have to work, you know, that extra half hour when it easily has no deadline? It could wait till next week to be finished. Why do I feel the need to get that one off my plate where I don't care if the laundry's not folded? So noticing those little things, because I'm holding something. What am I holding? You know, these are how I get access to what my emotions are. This is how it shows up in real world. And when I notice that real world thing, then, oh, maybe there is something emotional. And all of a sudden I'm observing myself without trying to say, oh, gee, I wonder what emotion I'm feeling. Because if I ask myself that, I have no idea. But I can look at that like, oh my gosh, I'm really trying to hit that deadline. That deadline is there is no deadline. I'm making this up in my mind. What's the point of getting it done early, even if there is a deadline? Like why Why am I trying to do that? What am I trying to prove? And if I'm trying to prove something, what am I afraid that somebody might find out about me? It gives me a starting point. That's what all of these are. They're for starting points. They're not for coming up with an exact answer. It's to help provide an openness of curiosity to break whatever thing is cycling and looping in that moment. Have I honored my hermit line by taking even 10 minutes alone with no input? Oh, that's one for me. Is there beauty around me right now? Colors, softness, warmth that helps me to return to grace. Because I like looking at certain things. There's certain things that bring enjoyment to me. In another video, I talk about how there's these lemon trees outside my my house, and I can just look out at them. I can actually see them as I'm filming here, and I look at them. And so if you see me looking over this way, I'm actually looking at the lemon trees because they bring a grounding back to me. And sometimes I can just think about the lemon trees. Ah, the lemon trees. And some of my pictures, a lot of my pictures have lemon trees in the background, even if you don't see the lemons just yet. Am I giving myself permission to blah, blah, blah. Am I giving myself permission to communicate when it feels right, not just when it's expected? Those external expectations, or what we think the external expectations are. Sometimes I feel like, when I first came to LinkedIn, it was, you have to give X number of comments each day, and I was like, I gotta hit that. I gotta get my tracker done. And it was so forced. And sometimes, when you do that, then you imprint all those comments with that gross energy that you felt. And so I don't do that anymore. I comment as often and as much as what I feel is the right thing. And it's been working out for me. So there you go. So that's all I wanted to share. I just wanted to share, these are my reflection questions. These are the things that I'm looking for. And as you come up with if you're looking for your own reflection questions, come up with things that start with something external, something that you can see or feel. Like, is there tension somewhere in my body? Okay. Yes, it's on my body, but I'm looking at it from an external inward, not from like what's inside me. What am I emoting? What am I feeling? What am I sensing? I'm like, oh, it's like somebody's, I could even actually touch my body. Like, oh my gosh, my shoulder, it's so tight, because that happens. And then I can physically feel it. It feels real. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not external. It's something that feels real. Like I can identify it. Like I can definitely tell if my neck is tense or not tense. I can definitely tell if I want to complete this project right now, and I'm forcing myself to stick with it so I can complete it, even though I may not have had a break for 4 hours. Those are things that I can identify clearly. And because of that, I don't have to answer them. I just open myself up, and then I can start exploring the other things. And so that's what I would recommend if you're looking to do any of this for yourself.